What's happening, YouTube? It's Paddy, your resident waifu here from a very cold but festive Hangar. I hope that your Christmas was absolutely lovely. I hope that Santa came all the way down your chimney and that he emptied his sack all about your house.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
I've got some new songs to work on. As if I didn't already have too much to work on as it was, I've added about 2 or 3 new songs, 2 of which I've already kind of started, and another one that I'm going to start from scratch again. So I'm hoping that this will give an insight into how I do the MIDI side of things right now. The song that I'm on just now, which has got a working title called Pimapple Trees, will have a sort of orchestra and piano through it, so it'll give me a chance to show YouTube how I do that. So hopefully that's informative and maybe even a little bit entertaining, who knows. I never have a set script, so we'll see how things go. Let's get into it. I've already had Pro Tools opened up because I was having snags with getting the output correct. As always, I've got my Guitar Pro down here, so that's pretty much all I've got. This is what I have. So I'm going to rename this as Orc Intro, as an orchestra. And then I'm going to put an extra marker in there and call it intro/main riff. So the way that I do strings or piano or any other effect like MIDI is exactly how I do drums. Create it on a instrument track. I do use more of the keyboard for this to like form complex chords because I find it's just marginally quicker than clicking 3 places and when you could just go. So we are up to bar 19. And that brings us up to the chorus, and there's no drums up to that point either. We're going to save that section and I'm going to go into open recent and then 809's rock, and I'm going to work on this a little bit. Cool. So I'm going to fart about with this. Yeah, sweet. So set up IO bus. So I'm going to put new path, stereo output. I'm going to call it Ben. And then Ben's going to get an auxiliary input output, and he's going to get told that that's that. Click OK. And then we should be able to find Ben here. Honestly, it shouldn't be mono, it should be stereo. There we go. And then we should be able to go auxiliary input, output. Make sure it's clicked out there. And then click OK. Click OK there. There we go. And then turn that up to about there. So we got up to bar 17. So again, I like to start from the top, which is kick drum. When it comes to choosing between using the sort of sample pads here and the keys down here, I find personally the keys here easier to do like ghost notes, whereas like up here it's kind of, I find it to be inconsistent. And then bar 33, I'm going to click plus on the markers there, and that's D pre-chorus. Select all of these, samples, and just click Q. And it forgot to include that one. Okay, right, as I mentioned, I done kick drum first, so we can fold away velocity, and then I'm going to do the snare. I'll just refresh myself as to what it sounds like. And I will put a little bit of a ghost note in there, like probably. And I'll do a little drum solo here, which I can manufacture of my sort of own accord. So we don't have a track for toms, so I'm going to go to track, new, stereo, instrument track, and we can name it at this screen and call it toms. I'm going to use the Win button to click and drag down the plugin, and we also want to colour that a similar colour, and we also have to change this to notes. And as I mentioned, there was another song that I wanted to start. Oh god, there was two more. Jesus. Right, so to start a new song in Pro Tools, click New, or when you open up Pro Tools, you'll be greeted with this splash menu. And then you put in the title of the song that you want to create. So this particular one's called 65 Dulux. What you all about? That's just cancelled it for no fucking reason. You've started your new project, as they like to call it in Pro Tools. I'm going to maximise this. And this is the screens that you'll be greeted with. This one, which is your mix window, and this one, which is your edit window. This time we've opened up a new project that has furnished us with a click track, which is good. So we need to tell it what BPM and what time signature to beep in. It's already in 4/4, which is what we want, and we want the tempo to be 165. Next thing I'm going to want to do here is zoom in a fair bit. That's probably a little bit too much. And then I'm going to want to go up here to track, and then new, and then usually I do either 4 or 5 stereo instrument tracks to start off with. These appear, and then we colour them. I'm then going to want to open up the plugin which I use for drums called Addictive Drums. Once that loads up, I'm going to want to select which drum kit I want to use. So when you're in this menu, you can either listen to the preset, play a random drum beat, or you can hit the drums as you wish, or you can come over here and click on kit, and it will show you all the separate kits. In here you can also edit each of the drums. You can also change it out for something else that you've maybe bought, because each of the kits you have to buy. I don't like that snare, so we're going to go straight into Fairfax Volume 1. The snare's going to need to be blasting. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and change these all to notes. This makes it easier for us to work on it the way that I do. I'm going to want to zoom in maybe one more click, and the first thing is we click right on here, right in the start, and we click plus, and I put section A, intro, because that's what it's called on Guitar Pro. Kick drum and overheads will be the first two things we program in. One button and drag this down. Give it a few seconds to load up. As I say, it needs to load up the plugin, which takes long enough as it is, and it needs to also load up the presets. Whilst that's loading, I'm going to cower near my heater to try and get warm. So, the intro goes from the first bar till the fifth bar. So that's all we'll be doing here. The cool thing about Addictive Drums, and I'm not saying this, it's the only plugin that will do this, but something I like about it is, see if you want to put in like a cymbal being choked, you just do it. And that's what effect I've got right at the end there, even though it's a ride. Another thing is, what I've actually neglected to set up here, so you wouldn't have heard any of that really, is I'm going to set up one stereo auxiliary track and one stereo master fader. Do that now, and it's important, it doesn't feel right when that's not red. Auxiliary track doesn't really matter what colour it is. Output, so hopefully that's worked first time. So I'm just going to point and click at this because I do not have the rhythmic skill as a drummer to do this live on a keyboard. And then the next one, oops. Cool, and then this can be snare, not snarly. In fact, you know what? Let's call it snarly sheen. So it took a little bit longer because we were farting about, but then on this, all we'll do here is plus main ref. Right, okay, so file, new. Veteran Butterfly. So again, it's come up with click track. It is a 4/4 and the tempo is 115. Track, new, stereo, instrument track, and we'll go for 5 of them again. And we'll also have to go track, new, and then put 1 stereo auxiliary, and then again, I would be so buzzing if this just worked. Look at that. It might have just worked. Cool. So I need to make sure that this is all going into auxiliary 1. And for some reason this is all in caps, so I'll put it all in caps. Intro! And then the drums really kick in at bar 27 it looks like. But on bar 17 there's a change, so I'm going to annotate that. There's no drums, but just to save myself time in the future, I'm going to stop this at bar 17. Also, Pro Tools doesn't like you scrolling along this much without there being anything recorded. I'll stop there, bar 17, and then this is B, and then it's change. Less shouty this time. So this is called hook, and it goes on bar 26 all the way to bar 33. So I'm going to do the snare next. We do not want that. And we'll make this next one the hi-hat. Too much. I like the sizzle on that one. And then quantize. And whilst we're listening to it all, this is when we can put in the overheads for now. And we'll call this one toms. I'm just going to have one tom here. We'll turn the... Cool, and that brings us on to the verse neatly. And then I'm going to go to open project, recent, go to scroll right down to the bottom. Can't remember which one face down is. I'm sure it'll come to me. I don't even know if I've done the bass for this one. In fact, realistically, I don't know if I've done the drums for this one. Again, what I'll need to do is, because I haven't screen recorded this one yet, I'll need to put a stereo auxiliary track and a stereo master track there. Why is it done that? Sweet. So it's just ignored me there. So hopefully we can fix it by doing it again, because otherwise we're gonna have to shut this down. Right, sweet. So it's just utterly ignoring me. So we're going to try open this again. Don't save it. We'll try create these tracks again. One stereo aux and one stereo master fader. Create. There we go. They've even coloured them for us. Must be like as an apology. In fantastic, you know, fashion, it's not recognised that pop is there. So we'll try doing that. Going to bus. C. There we go. So we need to go, I think. I doubt this is going to work. No. Right, so set up I/O pop stereo and then output pop. Again, that was relatively issueless. Once I've set up all this nonsense, and then I also need to set up 2 audio tracks, which I don't want there, I want there. And they also have to come to aux 1, or you won't hear them. What fucking chance have you got, right? I've not been in here for ages. And I pick up my fucking headphones and this is what I'm dealing with. Let's just fucking do it. This is going to be me recording some rhythm guitar for a song called Face Down. I will be using my bit of a bastardised Fender. It came as a custom shop neck, a different custom shop body. I've stripped it all down, put new tuning heads on it, Geiger tuning heads. I have put new pickups in it. These are custom shop 57s. Yeah, great sounding guitar. Does everything a Fender should. I don't know why, but that sounded awful. I'm gonna do that. I'm aware that the rhythm section for this song is very boring. There's 2 chords. It's as simple as that. There's obviously a lot more going on in the song, but the foundations of the song is essentially 2 chords. That's where we're at with that. But still, I think it's a good song. Once everything's built up, I hope you agree. Because it's only 2 chords as well, I'm only going to check a few bits to see if it sounds okay. Cool, save that. Sweet, so I've done quite a bit in today's episode, and I appreciate a lot of it's been farting about in Pro Tools and not a great deal of, traditional music yet. But I still, as I said at the beginning, I still hope that's been educational. But I'll probably call it a day there. As always, please continue to, like and subscribe, share the page. I've noted that subscribers are slowly edging up. So I'm hopeful that that's because we are doing the right things and teaching the right things. So I'm so grateful. As well as supporting us on YouTube, go visit the Hangar on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all those great things. And as I mentioned right at the beginning, if you are somebody that needs use of a studio for dirt cheap, I'm your guy. And as I said, the reason why I'm offering that isn't because I believe myself to be some sort of, sound engineering wonder. It's simply because when I was wanting my stuff recorded before I had all these things that I'm so very, very lucky to have, I really wish there was somebody out there that was willing to do it for on the cheap. And as I say, in my experience, I went into a real studio, paid a lot of money, and ended up with a product that was awful. And that product is still on Spotify to this day. When I was in the band Don't Do That Live, we recorded an album called Bad Idea, and I re-recorded that album and called it Trick. As I mentioned, like, subscribe, visit us on all the other platforms, share the word, but most importantly, safe landing.